Selina Meyer single-handedly changed how I look at television performances for the rest of my life. As you may have heard recently, Variety posted an article detailing the top 100 performances of this century. And while there were some definite missteps, I mean, no one from Parks and Rec, really?
I'm Ron Swanson.
They definitely got one thing right, and that is that Selina Meyer is the best performance we've seen on television for this generation, possibly every generation, honestly. So, since she's getting her flowers again, I thought it'd be a good time to detail exactly why this performance is so enticing and completely perfect from the first second she appears on the show. One of the reasons is it's the result of writing a character for a specific actress. One of the most obvious parts of Selina Meyer as a character is that she was written to be played by Louis Dreyfus and no one else. When I say that no other actor could have pulled this role off as effectively as she did, I mean it quite literally. There is no one else, because this one was designed to be Julia's. Everything from the character's fake smile, her insane laugh, her manner of speaking, her bad habits, all was clearly prepared and crafted knowing that Julia would be the one to convey it. And as a result, this character is fully fleshed out from the very first scene, and that is very clear to the audience. And while season 1 does have its issues with finding its tone and being a bit too bland, she is fully formed and killing every single scene she's in. Her incompetence line in the pilot is absolutely legendary.
What the fuck, Amy? I am putting out 2 fires in there, and I turn around to find out that you have set fire to the fucking fire truck? Sorry. The level of incompetence in this office is staggering.
And no one can crash out as uniquely as this character can.
Get off the plane.
What?
Get off the plane.
Ma'am, we're taxiing.
I don't give a shit. Get the fuck off my plane. Yeah, get the fuck off of my plane. I cannot believe that you put that out on Tumble.
No Tumblr.
Okay.
Honestly, it was her character potential that likely saved this show, especially since the first season wasn't especially popular. It also allows for more specifically tailored jokes toward the character that generally tend to be more funny as they're more accurate. Knowing the tone of voice that a piece of dialogue will be spoken in can contribute a great deal into your verbiage and would definitely improve the general writing quality, as there's less room for lines to be misinterpreted either by the writers or the actors. They're both on the same page. Another reason is the excellent portrayal of political narcissism through this character. One of the central themes of this show is how American politics can naturally draw and enable narcissists, and that it is mostly about image, rather than values or helping America in any meaningful way. From the beginning of the show, we get a clear picture that Selina Meyer is mostly not concerned about doing good, but looking good, and achieving as much power as possible in the process. You know, to spread her image to everyone in America. Perhaps not always fully grasping the realities of that power, like with the hostage situation in season 2. She has been grasping for more influence this whole season so that she can improve her image, but once she finally gets it, she struggles to handle the fact that that greater power comes with greater consequences. And it isn't all a sort of game with the winner becoming president. She even decides to first run for Congress after she has her child, like immediately after she has her child, Catherine, and feels no connection to her.
Is that its hair?
The only thing she's concerned about is fading from the public eye and being remembered as a beautiful, genius, political icon. From her perspective, she has to. And over the course of the series, she only becomes further immersed in this world, as she grows closer and closer to that seemingly unobtainable position of power that would immortalize her the way she so desperately craves. I won't spoil too much, but she does gradually give more and more pieces of herself to this role, leaving only that narcissistic desire for attention burning through every other possibly positive personality trait she could have developed. Some people say her character was Flanderized, but honestly, I'm not so sure that's the case. For me, it wasn't so much a sudden switch, but a gradual de-evolution into this soulless husk of herself. I mean, she makes some extreme concessions by the end of the series, and anyone who has actually watched this entire show knows exactly what concessions I'm talking about. This performance also excellently portrays politicians who would do anything to stick with the current status quo, no matter who they hurt in the process, so that nobody or the least amount of people can criticize him. This fake politician, I care about all of you, but speech really means I care about none of you except my image, evidenced by how easily Selina Meyer would give any one of us away. Behind closed doors, they are crude, they are racist, and they don't follow any of the values they profess to follow. I mean, Selina is sometimes downright religious in the public eye or her speeches, when she doesn't even know how to pray. Another reason is that they created a full character with a detailed life. The reason Selina Meyer feels like such a real person and political figure is because of the sheer amount of gags and facts that we are given in relation to her political and private life that help us with context. One being the over-attentive helper that is Gary Walsh. He's perhaps one of the best parts of Selina's quirks, where he basically takes care of every part of her sanitary needs, as the court once says directly in the show. His giant bag for her many cosmetic products due to her obsession with her image and the many tools he needs to use to calm her down all contribute to an extremely detailed and fun gag that remains throughout the entire series. Like the fact that he puts a secret ingredient in her tea or carries her antidepressants.
I need to switch out my estrogen patch.
Should I slip in a little swirl of progesterone for you?
You can surprise me.
Yeah, oh.
Like he is mixing this woman chemical cocktails so she can keep facing the public, and I am fully convinced that this is a real aspect of many politicians, and no, not just the female ones, as many people are wont to say about this character when they're not reading between the lines. Mitch McConnell, for one, is definitely drugged out of his mind on the daily. To make the decisions he has, you'd have to be. He is always fixing her hair, providing her with tidbits, or is just around her so much, and it is one of the most consistent and excellently done gags on the show. It's such an original and creative relationship that is so believable for a higher up public figure who is so concerned with her image. And even that contributes more to Selina's character as a whole. Another aspect would be her family issues, with her ex-husband Andrew, for one, his constant cheating, but then also the fact that she and him always stay on one another's radar, the fact that he's completely untrustworthy and is always involved in the most shady business dealings possible. It all plays a great role into filling out her private life and contributing to why she is such a bitter and cynical person when we meet her. Plus, it is just flat out hilarious every single time. I don't know how they do it, honestly. They find new ways to uniquely portray their unhealthy, toxic attachment to one another and realistically show how they were drawn back in.
As soon as I heard what a vulnerable state you were in, I got on the first flight.
Hi, Andrew.
Okay.
Even though you know she is making a terrible mistake going back to him, the way they go about it just has to make you laugh. This also goes further with her daughter, Catherine. Catherine plays an excellent role in this show for being the quote, politically problematic daughter with the extremely left-leaning tendencies that would get Selina herself criticized in the public eye, as she's always trying to stay moderate and as least problematic to as many people as possible. First of all, this is probably the most realistic aspect of a politician I've ever seen in this show. The daughter who is simply trying to live her life, but because her parental figure is so narcissistic, nothing they do is contextualized as something that is actually theirs, and simply is something that will embarrass or ruin their parents' career, as evidenced when she speaks her opinion for Palestine through that film review. As something as small as that can end up becoming a national crisis, and she gets blamed. Or her being vegetarian. Or her dating women. It's all so perfect as challenges for Selina's image, while she tries to look like a good person on the surface, but in reality, she is furious at Catherine for, quote, putting her through this. I would also add in this category the many personal quirks that Selina Meyer has herself that make her feel so real, like her smoking only when she goes abroad, and how overtly terrible she is with foreign dignitaries. It just gives so much color to her personality and skill set as a politician. Even though this is a comedy, it is good to see her in these roles and to view how she actually performs when she's required to do the duties of the president. And at the end of the day, she's just not very good at it. The way her and Minna Hakkinen interact should be studied in film classes.
And please call me Selina.
Selina?
Yes?
Excuse me?
What? Would you like to lead the way?
Yes. Oh, you like to go first?
Oh,
no?
we can
go together.
In tandem?
Yes.
We shall go.
Yes.
The way they are able to portray the awkward American politician foreign antics is so bitingly accurate. Even some of our best politicians have done some embarrassing as fuck things abroad. Berliner.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Just look at this one scene where they trade gifts, though.
We hope that when you come to our country, you will go fishing.
Because no one will feed me?
Because you love fishing.
I don't, actually. How baffling. No, but it is still a beautiful gift.
Oh, it is an absolute masterpiece in awkward cringe humor, and I think portrays how these meetings go so well.
Not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards.
Another aspect of this would be her fake insane laugh. I love this full send, mouth wide open laugh that she usually does when she's flirting with someone, namely Andrew.
Every time Andy's on the scene, she gets all
Giddy. She's this terrible laugh. She's like,
yeah, exactly.
with a.
Yeah.
Andy, it's me. It's Lee. Can you come here?
It's a one-of-a-kind quirk that this character has, and one that always managed to get a laugh out of me. Not to mention that is also something only Julia could pull off effectively. Another aspect would be the indecisiveness that causes every major decision she has to make to become a nightmare. It plays such a key role in defining her as a political figure in this world, and establishing her character in America's government, and why so many people dislike or are inclined to believe that she is not well prepared, even though she blames it on the fact that it's just because she's a woman. Multiple times over the series, they play this indecisiveness out for laughs, but they also show how susceptible she is to the advice of others around her, and how she doesn't particularly have any strong opinions of her own. That's not why she got into politics in the first place.
Here's my final decision. You will have a final decision by tomorrow morning. Have both plans ready to go.
Another reason this character works so well is that they allowed the actor to have input. One decision that this show made that was perfect for this character was utilizing all of Julia Louis Dreyfus's talents, including in a supervising position, where she was given a large amount of control with her character and the show itself in general. Really, the character is the show, so. She was an executive producer for the show's entire run, and was heavily involved with the creative direction it took, which is a large reason why the character feels so consistent, even though the showrunners changed halfway through. Quite honestly, I actually prefer the later 3 seasons, and this is partially achieved through improvisation as well. Not just from her, but all of the actors are largely given free reign over the script, much like the recently successful show Succession, which, in fact, actually, the 2 shows have a lot of the same writers and producers. It has been said by many critics and dozens of audiences that improvisation leads to more natural and realistic acting. And there's reasons why this is the case. It has a lot to do with what's called social creativity, which is the belief that performances and stories improve with group contributions rather than the writings of one person. It is one of the core tenets of studying improv. Stanislavski, a very influential figure in theater and improv in general, professed that improvisation was actually crucial for any actor to be able to truly understand their character. The writer cannot be the only person who needs to know them in and out, and being able to immerse yourself in the character's thoughts and make informed decisions allows for more natural delivery and interaction for the other actors as well. As any actor knows, the more energy one person brings to a set, the more energy everybody else is able to bring back, and it feeds into everyone else's performances. Not to mention that writers are not all-knowing. They can make mistakes, and having this system of checks and balances with people who definitely know the character, or perhaps are more familiar with different aspects of the character, allows for less mistakes to be made in the narrative overall. Plus, allowing actors to make their own choices about their characters will give them the ability to take more risks in their performance. I do theater, and the best advice I ever got from a director was that it's always better to get a note to tone things down than one saying that you aren't giving enough energy. Give it everything you have. Try everything you think could work, given your understanding anything of the character. Be wacky if you think that the character would be wacky. The director will rein you in if necessary. And if not, you just created an amazing, tiny, non-written specific trait or quirk for your character that nobody else could have given it. They also write very detailed set pieces for this show and will often place the actors there and simply have them play around rather than stick heavily to a script or scene, which results in some incredibly realistic dialogue and reactions, but also some amazing improvised jokes that would not have even occurred if they were not given this much freedom. It really goes so far to show how beneficial this practice can be and how trusting your cast, and especially your lead actor, can make a world of difference in character consistency and those small, crucial moments that greatly enhance the storytelling. And the last aspect would be fully embodying the character. There's so many small moments, reactions, and tics that show that Julia is fully immersed in this character whenever she is on camera. Micro expressions are the name of the game in this show. If you blink, you might miss 30 emotions flashing across Selina's face as the most unimaginable and silly political blockade approaches her. It is truly a sight to see and something that you have to watch for yourself to be able to experience properly. This also includes physical humor, this willingness to be wild, especially with this clip from Library. They are throwing this woman around on this show, and she is such a good sport about it, plus insanely physically fit. This woman is over 60 and people are flipping her the fuck around like, holy shit, I'm not even sure I could do this at 24. And every time she's holding a prop, she uses it while freaking out or telling someone off to increase the stress and the levity of the scene itself. I mean, there's even a scene where she uses the water she's drinking to form a unique comedic reaction to someone's fuck up. The sets are used to their fullest and every part of them is explored to give them a better sense of realism, and like the characters are familiar with that space, especially the Veep. This world is real whenever Julia is acting, and we can feel that through the screen as the audience. Seriously, the reason why I watch this show so much is just because you can literally focus on her face in a single scene and catch something you never noticed before. I'm serious, try it. Even when she was filming while she was sick with breast cancer, you can't even tell. There is no semblance of Julia while she is in character. She works so hard and commits every part of herself to make Selina as believable and funny as possible, no matter how unhinged she may get. And I have to say, she succeeded beyond my wildest dreams and became probably my favorite actress of all time. I don't think I will ever see a performance as amazingly natural as this one. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/PosiTVty to get extra content in the form of unedited essays and all of these videos before they come out here. But being here in the first place means a ton. Thank you so much for the support on YouTube. Leave all that engagement because it does help us out a lot here as well. Like, comment, we love discussing with you, and let us know what you'd like to see for the next video. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.